One of the most difficult feelings and emotions and experiences I've had to learn how to work with, I would say, is the fear of missing out and jealousy. And I would experience envy as a rage like feeling of not being able to understand why other people brought out such envy out of me, why I wanted to be like them, but not really because I didn't really want to be so audacious or arrogant. But the more I sat with that, I realized that me not pursuing what I wanted to pursue made me arrogant in a bad way. And it made me struggle in a lot of my close relationships because I would just be projecting all the time. And I would want to keep my friends and partners small because then I could do my thing in a kind of controlled environment. And that's not really how life works. You go out into the world and it's chaotic, it's crazy, and things won't go as planned. And as somebody with earth sign placements, I want things to go exactly how I planned them. And that was so limiting because it didn't leave any space for miracles to happen. It didn't leave any space for things to happen outside of what I can envision and better than what I can envision. And of course worse, I guess, but honestly, out of everything that has happened in my life, the worst case scenario was always in my head. Everything that occurred or happened was, survivable and livable through, and I'm still here today. I might be tired and mad and frustrated, but I found ways to make that work with my life. And there's this quote, I think it's Ram Dass. He says, you could treat it like it's a big weight on you, or like it's part of the dance. I'm butchering it, but something like that. I don't know. A lot of New Age spirituality is all about like love and light and and a lot of it just completely ignores the genuine suffering and pain of a lot of human experience, and how do we integrate our shadows. The point is to actually integrate them, work with them, and see that they lead us into more pleasure and more expansion, as opposed to them being like this stain on our character and like purity culture and everything that Christianity and its involvement with the government has, made it seem that there's like a very strict code of good and bad, but the concepts of good and bad change with every generation. Like what is considered good changes constantly. Like that's how you know that when these things shift, same thing with beauty standards and all that stuff across cultures and across time, then like how can we really blame ourselves when we don't, fit into what a good person should and shouldn't be or do. A huge reason why we seek external validation and look for, partners and people that can fulfill certain desires is because we've spent so long delaying giving ourselves the things that we need. And it is really just as simple as not going to the bathroom when you need it, delaying that because, it's comfortable to stay in bed. Give that to your body and notice how that changes your relationship to your body and your life. When you give yourself the things that you need, water, or you need to go outside, or you need to socialize. I used to think that other people were the key to my experience, especially my queer experience. I used to think I needed a very open, outgoing, loudly, proudly queer partner to feel queer myself or to embody that. But I realized that why would I need that? Why would I need another person to give me a permission slip to embody like myself? Like this is a part of me too. And we could talk about the commodification of queerness. It's a very huge topic. And so just think about that when you think about why can't you embody queerness the way you want to embody it. We're always, told by media that queerness must be, something, but something, straight with straight edges and something that's queer or not queer. You know, queer is inclusive and expansive. Queer is everything that's just not straight edge. And nature is queer. Human experience is queer. It's so ambiguous, and that is the huge struggle that not just queer people experience, also straight and cis people experience. Our lives are so ambiguous that they cannot fit into straight, hard lines, and we don't need to try to fit ourselves into that. The only person who can judge us is us, because we have only lived one life and have one reference, one experience of reference. Every other person that is judging you or projecting judgment on you is simply a judgment that they have for themselves. A lot of times people don't judge us because we're doing, you know, something good, bad, whatever. They judge us because we're doing something that they don't think that they have permission to do, in a good or bad way. Like an example is, I could judge somebody for leaving a bunch of their friends that they were friends with for many, many years, and, you know, leaving all these relationships, not giving a good explanation as to why you're just not going to be friends anymore. Or I could see it from the perspective of, why am I judging them? Maybe they needed a break from all these people. Maybe they needed a clean, fresh start. Why is that a bad thing? And maybe, you know, I have reflected on this, and I a lot of times judge myself when I need to make a clean break, that I'm like neglecting all of these things that I've spent so long building up. And like, what if I spent a long time building something that doesn't work for me anymore and will not, you know, continue to the rest of my life? And what if that dead plant needs to be, you know, recycled back into the soil so that I can grow into something else? I had more to say about the topic, so I am back to give you some more practical advice. The key to self-love is cherishing yourself, developing practices in which you engage with yourself and your body, and cherishing your experience and centering your experience. The biggest thing is giving yourself the things that you desire deeply. And I'll give you some examples. One of the things I desired deeply was a partner, a feminine partner, because here's the gag. Because I did not allow myself to express myself femininely, and so my desire to have some sort of external manifestation of femininity to give me permission to be feminine myself was kind of like killing me inside. And so I decided that I don't want to wait for a partner to allow me to express the full range of who I am. I wanted a feminine partner because I wanted to be asserted in my masculinity. And I decided, you know what, I choose to be safe and comfortable in my masculinity, and I'm going to express myself femininely, and it's not going to be a problem for me anymore. And now it's not a problem for me anymore. This desire and push to kind of have something to fill that void. And another thing too is like just touch. Like, I love just touching myself, scratching my back, and just like giving myself little butterfly hugs, going to drink water, making myself tea, or like eating something yummy, or taking myself out to a cafe. Except I don't really do that because I don't really like spending money at cafes. Sometimes it's nice, but my preference is to stack up to buy like something expensive and material that I can own. However, I do sometimes go to cafes when I need like a second, or I need to treat myself, right? Or like just giving yourself the things that you think you need a permission slip to express, or that you think you need another person to participate in. I am gonna make another video. It's gonna be called How I Find Stability in a Chaotic World. I suggest watching that video because it's gonna be kind of a continuation of this topic, but with practical steps on how to like love yourself in the world. But I'll leave you with another thing. Another thing that I do is I write like love letters to myself, And I've read these in another video, but it was near the end of the video, so I know some of y'all didn't watch it. Dear Punk Rock, and I don't actually call myself that. You are soft like a bunny's underbelly, so deeply feeling, so deeply nuanced, like coral reef. I missed you today. Made you a cup of tea right next to mine. Picked up this postcard at the souvenir shop. The teddy bear made me think of you because your name reminds me of a teddy bear. I thought about your beautiful hair and how you're so worried about it, but I'm not. How could I be? I love you. I'm hoping you'll come home soon. We've all been waiting for you. Even Grandma, she said she was so proud of you and wanted me to pass it on. Do you feel her from time to time? She says put a picture of her up. We love you so much. We think about you all the time. We miss you. We believe in you. We trust you. We love you. This is a love letter from us. Nothing can come as close to like unconditional love as writing a letter from myself to myself and just letting it flow and be what it is, because this is a letter I can always reread, and it's a letter that is so personal because it's me. And the only person who really sees me fully is me, because I'm always with myself. I'm always experiencing myself. And of course I'm going to write myself a letter. Like a love letter.